And we are live.
Hey!
Hey,
Happy Friday.
Yes, happy Friday. Or Thursday night, depending on
Or
where you
Thursday
are.
night, right.
Or, I don't know. Yeah, Friday morning. It could be any number of times or days.
Upturned table and the multiverse of madness. It is any time and all time simultaneously.
Yes, yes.
Time has no meaning, really. Because, hey, it's like we're back in the 2000s with all this OGL nonsense. Right.
Anyway. Oh, yeah. What did you think about the... so they had the new... kind of the new announcement of the new 1.2 and the Creative Commons. They said that for the... I guess for the SRD, they're going to they're going to have that under Creative Commons, which means it's out of their control. They can't ever revoke that, but they are saying they're still sticking to we are revoking the 1.1.0a. You know that's they're not allowing any new publication under that. So
well, I agree with like Olivia Hill. The Creative Commons thing is a fucking bone. You can't copyright all that game mechanic. You didn't need to fucking do it anyway, right? So it's just like this thing that doesn't matter. The thing you could always could have. You can have it, right? Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's and unfortunately it's working, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are like,
yeah,
oh, that was so great, right? And like that's all it did. It was the intent of that Creative Commons thing was to get some of the heat off them, and it's working.
Yeah. Yeah, and it'll be amazing if they actually pull this off because...
You know what? They will.
Yeah.
Sorry, they will.
And the thing that I was thinking, too, is think about new players and how few people are actually third-party content developers that just play the game. And they'll be like, I don't understand what this is all about.
And that's why it's going to work, right?
Because because they don't actually care. And that's why maybe the first draft of the 1.1 was so bad is because they want to shake loose all of this third party and just get rid of it, not have any problematic content, and just have you buy their content or stuff that they've contracted for.
That's the thing, like being in kind of I'm not a third party publisher. I publish my own stuff that nobody really looks at compared to D&D, right? But the D&D creatives it's got to be a small percentage of the people that play, and the people that play, like you said, they don't fucking care, right? They don't know what's going on. They're just going to buy D&D stuff. So that's why my pessimistic feeling is this is going to work, right? For WotC and Hasbro, even if they do lose third-party publishers out the wazoo, because whatever, right?
Well, and if they're going to have a premium price, like we heard some details now about what the subscription may look like. The highest tier is $30 a month. That's per player, per everyone involved.
To let you use your homebrew.
Yeah, to let you use your homebrew, and to get a content drop, like a monthly, whatever that is. Like so there will be a class system, not only a class for your character, but a class system where we're in the $30 tier. We play stuff you've never even seen before because this is exclusive to our
How is that bad for a business,
tier.
Right? Like as shitty as it is, how is that bad for a business to have people going, this is the cool stuff. Don't you want to be part of the cool club, right?
And they've definitely looked at the numbers and said we could lose because they're so under monetized. We can lose 90% of our current players, and if the remaining 10% are paying us $30 a month, we're making more money than we did before.
So that's why we're still talking about it. We'll be talking about it for a while. I don't think Hasbro cares.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And if you think about like just social media and YouTube and things, all the creators, all the people that are doing third party probably have YouTube channels. They have Twitter accounts, and so we're hearing them very vocally. But that's not. It's a little bit of an echo chamber because they're talking to each other and saying, "Doesn't this suck? Doesn't this suck?" And the people that may have bought their things are unaware that this is even
like. Don't get me wrong. Like it does suck for third party. I mean. Okay, like I said this on Twitter and social media, like, I'm not directly saying it's your fault, right? But, okay, think about it in terms like this. Amazon.
Yeah.
You keep buying products from Amazon, and to be fair, it's kind of inescapable, right? But you keep buying products from Amazon, the more Amazon owns, the more difficult it is to find alternatives to fucking Amazon, right?
Right.
So it's the same situation here, right? Like, I'm not saying stop playing D&D, but all these third-party publishers, you had a choice to make content for something else or D&D, and I can't fault you for choosing D&D because it's the most popular. You're automatically got eyes on it. It's got a built-in audience. You were also feeding the beast, right? So the fact that we're at this point now, and now you're getting screwed over, okay, I'm not going to directly say it's your fault, but you were partially responsible for this, right? And you had to have known that when you made the choice to make content for D&D or make it for something else. Right.
And
So
the thing I still can't figure out is that wording that they had in the, I guess, it was second apology, or the second time they were kind of addressing the OGL, where they were saying, we're trying to, this OGL was not made for corporations, for big corporations to make money. And I was, who are they talking about? But they're not that big. I mean,
to what, like, okay, anyone coming on to D&D must have had to look at what happened when 4th edition came out. And I said, we spawned our biggest competitor. Right? Like, okay, biggest is relative, right? But anyway, we spawned competition. We ain't having that shit again, right? So, no.
But corporation-wise, like a publicly traded company, the only thing that I could think of, like, make that connection is Amazon's Critical Role series.
Oh, well, that probably too.
So they got. So I was like, is that what is driving them crazy? That's not their animated series?
Critical Role in general.
Yeah,
well, I mean, no, not really Critical Role in general. I mean, because they're D&D Beyond does sponsor Critical Role, so there is some kind of relationship there, right? But
that's probably the reason for that weird kind of generic statement that they released and them being quiet is because they're probably all under NDAs.
Yeah, exactly. Like, again, like, I don't care for Critical Role. However, like, I work for a corporation, right? Like, sorry, you got sponsorship. You're not gonna like.
Oh yeah, just throw it away.
Yeah. Or you are gonna throw it away, right?
Yeah.
So that wishy-washy, nondescript CR statement, like, you can be disappointed. You must have had your head under a rock if you're surprised. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Because it's just too.
Or you don't really understand how corporations and being sponsored works, right? Speaking of which, if anyone wants to sponsor us, I will gladly keep my mouth shut about how horrible you are, right?
It's funny, you mentioned Amazon, and I saw a great headline for Amazon that said recently they've abandoned their charitable donation, like automatically built into all of your purchases. They would let you choose a charity and donate. They've for cost-cutting purposes, they've just deleted that program that's being discontinued to save money.
How did it cost them any money? I don't know. Anyway,
but I thought that was great. Yeah. So you can't rely on any of these companies to make.
No, and that's decisions. The thing. And like, yeah. Well, the other thing about the new the OGL is like, WotC is also the sole arbiter of what constitutes problematic content. Right.
Yeah. That's.
And since they've already had like anti-capitalist or whatever stuff, like they've been like, yep, yank that from Drive-Thru-RPG. Sure, I trust WotC to decide what's harmful content.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and that was their excuse for that's why we can't keep the old OGL. We have to deauthorize it because then we won't be able to control all of this harmful content in this.
Maybe don't make a game that can be abused that way, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just continues, and they keep contradicting themselves. That doesn't make any sense, but we do have a name now. We can put a name, and we have an individual that we can blame. So we can't hate WotC. We just have to hate Kyle.
Yep.
Kyle. God damn it, Kyle.
God damn it, Kyle. Yep. Kyle, like, and you know what? I would not be surprised if that's what Hasbro and WotC are doing. They're this fake persona. Right. I'm not saying they're fake, right? But they'll be like, Kyle has been fired, right? And everyone will go, yay, back to WotC, right? Like, that's what I'm expecting to happen. So.
Yeah, well, his LinkedIn profile, it's like an AI generated photo. So
would you, if you had to be the scapegoat, would you want to put your real picture up there?
Right. Yeah, so we'll see. So this is premium content. So this doesn't enter the. I mean, we're gonna be talking a bit about the fallout and reactions, but we're not specifically going to talk about WotC in the main podcast, just because it is just endless. And and it's funny though. People are really. I think people right now are building channels on this based on this because it's popular enough. There are people that I've seen go from like 100 subs to like 17,000.
Well, you know what you got?
Just breaking headlines.
Take that chance. Do what you got to do. I hope whatever happens, you find a way to transition to sustainable content.
Right. Yeah, because people are going to
like
just walk
us.
away. Yeah.
We talked about stuff for years before this OGL stuff dropped, right?
Yes.
And nobody watched.
Yeah, but that is a funny thing is like if you go hard in this one direction, it's like, okay, now you're the OGL
hater
channel, the OGL hater channel. Yeah, so we will see. Hey, Abyss. Hey, Miguel. How's it going? Nice. Good to see you guys.
We have the chat. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, there it is. The chat is
Even
coming
the
up.
board game reviewers are suddenly experts about this stuff.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. I watched a 5-minute YouTube video, and now I'm like a
Oh,
legal
yeah.
expert.
Yeah, right,
on
yeah,
all this
exactly.
language. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny, and I like the people that are involved in like developing third-party stuff for 5e or whatever. I love when they're raging about this, and then sometimes they tip their hand about what they're like, patent attorneys and like people are just like, ugh, this is the
Hey,
these
need a
day
break.
jobs are a little uncreative and a little part of the problem.
Well, I mean, okay, not every day job can be creative, right? Sometimes you just got to do to make ends meet, and then your creative outlet can be something else.
Yes, I guess that's what it is. But yeah, we will see. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, so it just it continues, and their stock has taken a little bit of a dip. So maybe shareholders are paying attention to this and saying,
Oh, maybe.
What are you guys-
And honestly,
what are you
okay,
guys doing?
we've said before, and it's not specific to WotC. That's the only way to get a corporation to
Right.
notice is to hit them in the wallet.
And they've even there've been reports. I don't think any of these numbers are confirmed, but the drop in D&D Beyond subs was pretty significant.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any evidence.
And
of
if
that.
their plan, we don't have any numbers. They're definitely not going to tell us. But if their plan was just to transition D&D Beyond to one D&D and have that built in, say, look, we took this 1 million and made it. We moved them right over, and those are all active subscribers. That they can tell their shareholders. That probably was the plan. And when that number got below what they wanted to start with, it probably got a little
yeah,
scary.
and it's like, hey, fucking do something.
Mm-hmm.
Did I mention this is a family-friendly
That's right.
program? No, it isn't.
We suddenly
Yeah.
go off a line.
Oh yeah, this is all premium content, right?
Yes. Oh, that's
Premium
right. This is the
content.
premium.
Access
yes.
to swears.
Yes. Yes. All right. So should we get started?
All set.
All right. So yeah, good to see everybody in the chat.
Hey, thanks for coming in.
All right. Welcome to the weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm dying.
Oh my God, we're losing Chris. We're losing Chris.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm fine. I'm Chris. Just I think that triple espresso latte went down the wrong pipe.
Oh no.
Yep.
Should we try that again? Just for
Sure.
the
Sure.
edit. One more time. So that was premium content you
Right.
got there. The choking. Welcome to the weekly. I'm Jeremy,
I'm Chris.
and this week on the weekly, Privateer Press releases a statement about the OGL reaction. Bundle of Holding gives you non-OGL and alternatives
Ooh,
to
nice.
the world's greatest role-playing game.
That's got to go away. Yep.
Yeah,
Sorry.
right. Free League releases 2 new licenses,
Mm-hmm.
and Hollywood 1947, the 5th entry in the Dark Cities series, the board games, the little bookshelf board games.
Right. Cool.
So those are So it is alive, and probably the darkest city of all. I would probably
cool.
say. All right, so let's start with Privateer Press. So they released a statement about the future of the Iron Kingdoms RPG. So the statement starts, yesterday they just received the shipment of their latest crowdfunded Iron Kingdoms expansion to their warehouse, and we're excited to see the freshly printed books, and it has been 23 years that they've been producing RPGs. So and the thing that they wanted to talk about is, the beginning of this 23 years, the first thing they started with was their Witchfire trilogy.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Fiction. Yeah.
Yeah, and used their the third party was a D&D third party OGL product. So they've been doing, they've been there. That's their origins. And so what does that mean? What does that mean for the future? And so they're in the statement they said, had the OGL taxed our efforts, so the OGL at the time,
Right.
had it taxed our efforts, restricted our creativity, or put a ceiling on our ambitions, presented a path that could be taken away in an instant, we never would have pursued this endeavor. There would be no Iron Kingdoms today. And
Okay.
they're talking about, so that was why they made the decision. And so this threatening of the deauthorization, this threatening of licenses and they were reporting income and royalties and things in this new license is not making anyone happy. The advantage of publishing under the OGL is reaching a community that speaks a common language, and that was a big part of their decision making. So if they're denied the possibility of having a license that works the way that they want, we will follow the community that has endowed us with the chance to live as creators. We will find a way to deliver to our supporters, and we will support a future where creators have no boundaries.
Right. Okay. I gotta wonder. Okay. Like I only played War Machine and Hordes for a little bit. That's my kind of only exposure to the Iron Kingdoms and Privateer Press. Are we saying they started? Are they saying they started with fiction books, the Witchfire trilogy? Were they just like?
Oh no, I think that was
novels?
an RPG. No, I think that was an RPG.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
that was their early RPG setting.
Right. Okay, fair enough. Because I was a bit confused. I was real confused about why did you need to release tie-in fiction with OGL? But if it was an RPG,
yeah, they
got it.
probably because maybe that setting has as fiction based on it, but that was their first OGL product, and so yeah, I guess they created their setting that then became the War Machine and Hordes world. Back when they were just doing 3rd edition D&D.
Right.
So that's good that they are open to not being
Did they say what
controlled
kind
by
of
this.
license they're gonna?
No, they just said they're going to go to where they
Right,
feel
okay.
yeah. So and because there are a lot of options now, Paizo Paizo's creating their orc and
Creative
there's
concept, bro.
yeah, right. So we'll see what where that ends up. But it was nice. So that was Matt Wilson that made that statement for Privateer Press. So it's good that they're paying attention and they're not just gonna
I wonder if that
fall in
means,
line.
well, depending on what happens with whatever OGL comes out, right? I wonder if that means having to like go back and edit.
Yeah,
Stuff
it could be.
to
Yeah, just
not
like
use the OGL.
right, just like Basic Fantasy is talking about. Yeah, going back into it and making it so it's completely free, free of anything related to that license. But if you are looking for alternatives and non-OGL fantasy, well, the bundle of holding has you covered. There's like several bundles
Covered and then some.
Yes.
Covered in bundles. Yeah.
Yes. So they have a 13th Age mega bundle, and the other thing that they have is a non-OGL fantasy. So the alternatives to D&D is the big collection that just went live, and that gives you for the starter collection gives you it's a pretty big range of like from rules light to pretty intense games. To you kind of sample the whole what range of what people have been doing with fantasy. So starter collection is includes 5 Torches Deep, Tiny Dungeon, Chivalry and Sorcery, Basic Fantasy RPG and Field Guide, and Lightmaster.
Ooh, okay.
And then if you pay the additional for their bonus collection, that gives you Dungeon Crawl Classics, Shadow of the Demon Lord, Hackmaster, Player's Handbook, Fragged Empire, and Fragged Kingdom.
So yeah, a fair spread of different
Yeah,
kind of games, all kind of fantasy-ish themed, though, right?
Right. Yeah, they're staying under fantasy. Yeah, so minimalist games like a Tiny Dungeon to detailed simulations like Chivalry and Sorcery.
Okay, I gotta say, I got Tiny Dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay. It was not as minimalist as I thought it was going to be.
Oh, really?
So that's not to say it's like maximal, but when someone says minimalist game to me, I think pretty stripped down.
Right.
It was not as stripped down as I wanted, and I think I ended up selling it off.
Oh.
Like, nothing wrong with the game, nothing bad at all, just this is not what I expected.
Interesting. Right? Yeah, and I think people's tolerance coming from Dungeons and Dragons, whatever version of that, people's tolerance for like rules complexity and stuff. Because if you Pathfinder, I don't think for a lot of people who play indie RPGs, fantasy RPGs, I don't think they would switch to Pathfinder just because of the complexity of rules. And but it just depends on what people enjoy. If there's rules lookup at the table, that sometimes is part of the part of the process, part of what you do as in your game session. But if you don't want to, if you don't want to be doing
Hour
that.
2. Did we resolve grappling yet?
No, we have no idea if we've actually subdued that.
Just roll a
orc or
d20 and
not.
move on.
Right. So that was the alternatives to D&D bundle. The non-OGL will give you things in the starter collection. Give you things like Mithras, Core Rules, The Dark Eye, Advanced Fighting Fantasy, Heroes Against Darkness, and Old School Manifesto.
That sounds ominous.
Yeah, and then their upgrade, their level up price will give you Kevin Crawford's Worlds Without Number Deluxe Edition, Green Ronin's Sword Chronicles, and Fantasy Age core books, as well as the Trader's Edition of Warlock, which I highly recommend.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Warlock is a good time. And then Against the Dark Master. And there's also, and I think I mentioned, there's also a 13 Age mega bundle going on. So yeah, this is a great chance to get DRM-free digital versions of all of these games and see if there's anything you want to try and anything you want to invest in and try to convince your players to play.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Like, if you're going to switch, like dealing with my 5-year-old, don't give him an option, right? Just say, this is what we're playing.
Right.
If you don't like it, fuck home. Or run your own game.
Right. Chris at the table is pretty rough. We get turned away all the time. we're just trying to.
No, you don't get turned away all the time because with everybody here is absolutely dying to run a game. So the threat of go run your own game is not a threat.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
that's right.
Okay, well, here's what we're doing, right?
Right. So so those are some options for you to try. And Free League, news from Free League, they announced that they are developing 2 new open game licenses. So the first one is a rework of the Year Zero engine OGL, which they've already had, and this is a rework that they already planned, but they kind of expedited, because of the recent situation. And the second is a newly designed license for third-party modules specifically for their upcoming Dragonbane, which I think it's a great system, so I think they're really hoping it does well. And this timing, it couldn't be better timing.
I was going to say, like, this is the time to do it if you're looking for people. If you've got kind of, not a D&D clone, but if you've got a game that's kind of in the same sphere as D&D, WotC cannot like this. Sorry, WotC messing up like this is your chance to go, here's an alternative.
Yes, right. And and Dragonbane is very just will scratch exactly that D&D itch. It's the Swedish inspired or Swedish written game that was inspired by D&D, back in the 80s. So it's very cool. The CEO of Free League, Thomas Härnström, said it's clear that it is high time for Free League to have an OGL that is fully our own. So people have been working with the workshop, I think the Free League workshop on drive-through, and the terms are very generous. Like this is going to be a license that no one is going to find fault with. I think because they are gamers. Like this isn't a corporate decision made by non-gamers that used to try to sell you licenses to Windows, whatever, Windows 7 or whatever.
I kind of quibble with that a little bit. I mean, like, corporate people could still be gamers, but I think maybe it's better to say, like, it's an OG. Okay, I'm a little bit skeptical of an OGL, but like this is like a contract designed to something like further the hobby or the community or the group rather than the business.
Right.
And the idea is that a healthy community would fund the business.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Definitely. And I think that's their approach. So the statement goes on to say the Year Zero OGL that's being revised is it gives creators an irrevocable, worldwide, and royalty-free right to use the Year Zero SRD and freely publish their own role-playing materials based on it.
I know what I'm doing.
The new SRD will include more rules variants, add rules for chases, vehicles, travel, magic, and all that good stuff that has been developed. And then the Dragonbane license will allow creators to freely publish RPG supplements explicitly compatible with Dragonbane, and to place a special module for Dragonbane logo on the front cover to legitimize that this is being produced and approved by Free League. So they can freely choose where to. And this is the other nice thing. They can freely choose where to share or sell Dragonbane modules without paying any royalties to anyone. So there's no limit to marketplace, no dungeon masters guild,
being forced to use Kickstarter.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah, you're not. There's not being favored by anything. So both of these licenses will be available in the next few weeks, and So this is. They also made a separate comment that said they do have 2 5e conversions for 2 of their big games. The Lord of the Rings role-playing game based on the One Ring has a 5e is the 5e adaptation of One Ring, and Ruins of Saborum is the 5e. So they said both of those lines will continue largely unaffected by this updated OGL. So they are continuing with them. So if you are playing that, if you are involved or you've ordered them or pledged them on a Kickstarter, they're still going to make it. They're still going on, but of course they'll update everybody on the situation. Right. So that was good to hear, and I can't wait for the revised the Year Zero SRD. I'm really having fun. We're doing Forbidden Lands online, and really having fun with that system. So I would like to see that. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is a board game from a series called the Dark Cities series that I really enjoy. These little replica hardcover books, all weathered. They have like little gold foil, So it's just the name of a city and a year. Okay. And so these are games based on historic events from different parts of history, different parts of the world. And the fifth version, the fifth part of this series is Hollywood 1947.
Ooh, okay.
And so what they decided to do is do a social deduction game based on Patriot or Communist. So kind of Red Scare.
All right, okay, I was wondering.
Yeah, Red
okay,
Scare,
yep.
Blacklist, Hollywood. So you play a job at a studio, you have a secret role, and you're constantly trying to put your propaganda and your messages into the film. And so you're you know, submitting these hidden cards that show your influence, and and so people are trying to figure out who made this a patriotic film or who made this a communist film, based on everybody at the table. And of course, each of the jobs at the studio has a different ability that they can use. They can look at people's cards. They can do different things.
So you're going to have things. You're going to have roles maybe like actor, director, producer,
yes, screenwriter, and that has a special ability tied to it. And they have these the art is beautiful. Always the components and art for these games are great, but they're these period movie posters, these 40s, you know, hand painted movie posters. And so you put a poster out there, it already has kind of a little bit of a built-in slant to patriotic or communist, and then you have to try to either beat that or just back off and wait for the next one that you can take away.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's a really fun just social deduction style game where you're just constantly suspecting, trying to suspect who's the commie.
I like social deduction games.
Yeah. That's good. It's good. And so yeah, you never show your cards or your loyalty through the whole game. And so this Kickstarter, like they have done previously, they're producing. So this is to fund a retail release of a standard edition. But if you pledge on the Kickstarter, you also have access to a deluxe edition with like metal miniatures, wooden tokens, just upgrades to all of the components that aren't going to go into the retail version.
Right. Oh, cool.
But yeah, it's great. And so, and of course, because this is part of a series, add-ons will include all of the previous games.
What are the other four?
So here we'll go through the wonderful list. Oh, if I can only find them, the wonderful list of the whole series. But it's really a nice varied. They do a good job of varying the genre, the kind of mechanics of the game, the feel of the game, and it always does fit the.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like it when mechanics really fit the theme. And like I said, I like social deduction games. I'm not very good at them, but I still like them. But I have to tell the story of when I brought the Resistance back to the States for like a family gathering, right? Mm-hmm. The Resistance is pretty much the same thing, like a social deduction game where you're either a rebel or a spy, and you pass or fail missions based on putting these cards in, and then you have to try and deduce who's a spy and, make sure they don't go on missions. So I remember playing the game with my family with like 6 people, and we didn't get past the first turn. Like we didn't get past the first mission because like everyone kind of was like, I don't understand what's happening. Like, what are we supposed to do? And my mom was like, we're all yelling at each other. I'm like, that is the game. Yes. That is the game. We are literally playing the game, and you're all just like, what are we supposed to? I'm like, we are doing it right now. Never mind. Just give me those cards back, right? So yeah, it was just kind of hilarious.
Very nice.
Dysfunctional. Like, that is the point of the game, Mom, to like yell at each other and try and find out who's a spy. No, okay, never mind. All right. I'm gonna bust out Candyland again.
I suggest you don't bring Secret Hitler home then for the holidays.
Okay, I can't play Secret Hitler.
Okay.
Can't play Secret Hitler. 1, I've kind of soured on the whole Nazi thing. Mm-hmm. 2, the night of the election, we were watching the results while playing Secret Hitler, right? And like, okay, we were East Coast, and like it's always like red, right? Republican, and always like. Then when you wake up the next morning, West Coast has voted, right? But it was just like we played like 3 games, and that was a fucking downer. When we just kind of ended the night like. So like, I now apart from the Nazi thing, which I can't do now, I just have that association with Secret Hitler. And like, it's a decent game. I kind of wish that they would remove that theme, right? Like, there's any number of other things you could do. But the game's just forever tainted now. Right. It's just like, no, sorry, I can't play it
because Secret Hitler won.
Yeah.
All right. So the Dark City series, what I've been looking for, includes Salem 1692.
Ooh, okay.
Tortuga 1667. Deadwood 1876. And Bristol 1350.
What's Bristol 1350? That'd be like
Black Plague.
Ooh,
yeah,
right, okay.
That's a really fun. So you're on a cart.
You're people or rats?
Yeah, so you're rolling dice to see how infected you are, and you're on a cart, and you're trying to get out of the city.
Right.
And if someone is secretly has the plague that gets out of the city, everyone loses, and you can push people out of the cart before you. So you're trying to get a cart of uninfected people out of Bristol, and yeah, this is a fun dynamic.
Sorry, it's kind of like you are the person on.
Yeah, you're playing yourself. Yeah,
you're playing yourself.
Yeah,
cart,
yeah,
right?
you're playing your person on the cart, and you're just trying to decide. Do you think? What? How much?
Right.
Do you think? And then okay, push. Oh no! And then you were the one. Ha ha ha! I was the one all along that had the.
Right. That's kind of dark. Where like, ha ha ha! I'm a plague victim, and we got out. Everybody dies. Right.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I guess the one. Those all sound amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The one downside of social deduction games is if they are player elimination games, right? The Resistance isn't exactly a player elimination. Like if once you're pretty sure someone's a spy, you're like, okay, well, we're not sending you on missions anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But depending on what happens in the turn, that person might still get to be mission leader, depending on how many missions you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the person's never really eliminated. I think like someone like One Night Werewolf or something like, well, you're out, you're gone, right?
Yeah,
which is kind of unfun if you have a big group and then you have to wait for like 6 other people
There's
to
people
get
just
eliminated.
sitting back with nothing to do. Yeah.
So if it's player non-elimination, I'm even more interested in these games.
I think all the games are based on that. There's like hidden information or something that is revealed at the end, and that's how you figure out points. And things like the Tortuga is retrieving the Spanish gold and taking different positions, and also that is stranding people on an island. So there is a way to get off the island, but you can decide, okay, you're out of here. We're putting you on the island, leaving you, and then you have to make your way back.
I like that.
But and all the components are really cute. They do like really nice little wooden pieces, and everything is and it all fits in just a tiny little, maybe like a little bit bigger than one of those clamshell VHS cassette boxes.
That's a package I want to make for a game.
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect. If you can find someone that still can vacuum form those things, that'd be
or
great.
like you can still buy audio cassette tapes at the dollar store here, and the number of times I've looked at it and gone, I'd love to put like a game inside.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so check that out. I'll put a link to those games on there, and I've played all of them, and
nice.
So they're all great. I think I got in on like the third one, and then purchased the first two, and then have just been following these campaigns ever since. So Facade Games, great company. I think it's a husband and wife company. They do really good stuff. They hire really talented artists, so every game has its own look, and it's an artist is involved in kind of creating the whole look of it. So
I'm gonna have to go look at this because I want to see what those 1940s style kind of posters look like.
Yeah, they're very nice, and they're really nice because they can just sit on a bookshelf, as books. So
look at all these things I have read.
Yes, right.
They're secretly games,
and very reasonably priced too. The basic game is always around, like it's just under like $30.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they do a really nice job of keeping it affordable because it is a smaller scale game. If your piece is not a huge board or anything. So great. So that's it for this week.
Woohoo, nice.
And so where can people find you?
On Twitter, as always. It's Hivemind, HYVEMYND. Instagram's the same, where I'm still doing kind of Dungeon 23. I'm a couple days behind. But I decided, surprising no one, I shifted gears halfway through the month. I'm now using all of the pixel art assets I have to make little pixel art overworld map sections.
Oh, wow.
Right? And I kind of had not a crisis of faith, but after doing it for a couple days, I'm like, what's the end goal? Right? Mm-hmm. I don't know, because Dungeon 23 is just to get in the habit of making stuff.
Right.
I think there's possibly a little solo adventure card game in there, right? Okay, turn them into cards and put them out as a map. Or maybe some kind of little tool for RPGs. So I'm kind of back on that now.
Oh, nice.
And people seem to like this larger 16 pixel scale. I thought the 8 pixel scale was really small and cute.
Yeah.
But some of the details get kind of lost.
Yeah.
So
I'm
cool. Also trying out different 4-color palettes.
Game
Boy style, right?
right.
Some of those look pretty cool. But if you want to follow that and hear me rant about, not the OGL anymore because I don't, but parenting, you know where to go.
You go.
Yep. Like today, my kid showed me the hole in her sock. after we had gotten to date, along with all the other teachers and kids and parents. And I'm just like,
this.
Look at this hole. And I was like, normally I don't care what she wears, but I'm like, I'm mildly embarrassed now. You made us look like hobos, right? God damn. Anyway, so where can people find you?
Abusecartoons is the comic strip that I draw, the single panel gag cartoon. So I live stream the drawing of that every week. So Abusecartoons on YouTube and Twitch, you can find the live stream of that. GoComics.com/domestic abuse is the catalog or the archive of all of those cartoons. So thousands of those cartoons for you to read.
Literally thousands.
Literally. And if you'd like to support what we're doing with the weekly, please consider becoming a patron. So patreon.com/upturntable.
And become a weakling.
Yes.
The strongest of all supporters.
Yes. Yeah. We favor all of our weaklings very, very greatly. And just let us know what you'd like to see on the weekly and the types of things you'd like us to cover. And also then get all of the audio from the live stream in the RSS feed as a patron. And that's at all tiers, all levels. And also then everything we do goes on upturntable.com, so you can find everything that we're posting there, and as well as unboxings and actual plays and things on the YouTube channel. So that's where you can find everything. And Upturntable on all social media.
Yeah.
So thanks for joining us. We'll be back again next week.
Yeah. Later, mortals.
Goodbye. Nice. All right. Be right back. All right. That's the moment of silence that lets me filter the audio so it sounds a bit better. So, hey. How's it going, Abyss? Good to see you. All right. So I hope everyone's doing well. You survived all of the OGL talk at the beginning. It's really crazy. So let me catch up on the chat. Yeah, I can't believe it seems like always right before we have the weekly, there's always some OGL drama. Maybe they do it on Fridays specifically so they can get it, so it gets digested over the weekend. Or maybe they're just assuming people are less, by the end of the weekend it'll be forgotten. Yeah, and Abyss was saying, $30 subscription, with a steal. Yeah, that's insane what they're thinking about. And it is very similar to, you mentioned the Warhammer Plus. It is very similar to what Games Workshop kind of did, is just try to grab what they thought, free content that they could charge for, grab a bunch of animators and get them under contract, and then produce no animation, but then they have nothing competing. It's really strange because I don't even know what they're doing on Warhammer Plus. I don't know why it's even still a thing, but it's probably just going to suddenly disappear and no one's going to, know or even pay attention. So, hey, Miguel and Abyss, how you guys doing? Yes, it's really, really bizarre. And it's, they keep going back to that non-inclusive, harmful content. This is what we're trying to prevent. We're the good guys. We're the good guys. That's this corporate position that everybody has to take. So you can easily vilify any individual. Anybody can be a bad actor. Any individual can be a problem. Any creator, anybody can be a problem. But a corporation has to virtue signal and tell you how inclusive they actually are. And Dungeons and Dragons is not a when you look at the whole range of what's on the tabletop and role playing out there, it's not a terribly inclusive game, but they're really positioning themselves, and they're all their actual plays, all their character art and everything. They're really working hard to do that. But and it's kind of like I think there's both D&D and Warhammer have that thing where the setting is it defeats kind of current politics. It doesn't quite match well the Imperium of Man and adventurers delving dungeons aren't quite as aren't the safest content for current politics. So it's very, very funny. They're working at a disadvantage. So basically they're going to just slowly dismantle their own IPs just in favor of approval from whoever that is. Oh yeah, what is that? Diablo Eternal, that wonderful, that wonderful game that they released instead of Diablo 4. Oh man, Miguel says I want to give credit to the new and our new WotC corporate overlords. Yeah, right. Chris is ready to go. Anytime WotC gives us the offer, we're going. Miguel said 20 years to unify most of the D&D RPG market behind one system, and all gone in less than a month. Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, this has been going on. The OGL has really helped people support, because what they weren't doing with their releases, like probably the money they didn't want to spend to actually produce decent content for 5th edition, they just let the community do that, and now they're trying to take it all back. Yeah, it's really strange, but like Chris mentioned, they might get away with this. They might this might all blow over, and then the D&D movie comes out, and then, hey, 50th anniversary, here's the documentary. Isn't this a great game? Isn't this a great community you're involved with? And people are going to have trouble bringing this up. You're going to be, you're one of those anti-OGL people, whatever the term is going to become. That it's going to be really weird. But and Miguel said, I'm dying to get AI dungeon masters. That's insane. I mean, that makes exact sense if they're going to use like the mobile game or the online subscription model. That's exactly what they need to do. Is you can play anytime that you want, and you all just log in. You're in a group with a bunch of randos, a bunch of players, and you have this AI, and you just choose which adventure, and you just click it, auto generate characters, and then you're just off. You're playing Dungeons and Dragons. That's gonna be so bizarre. And it's just a chatbot. You're just talking to a chatbot. So just like probably Hasbro customer service, it's just a chatbot that's gonna run your adventures. Yeah, it's so strange, and I don't think it's ever. And Abyss says AI DMs would be amazing, because then we get DM Chan to give us the kawaii dungeon with the naughty dungeon girls and waifus. Yeah, it could go all sorts of directions. And that's the thing too, is if you will use an AI, then they can of course build in guidelines and build in restricted topics and subject matter and stuff. So that would be really funny, just like hitting on an AI or trying to be suggestive or use innuendo with an AI. If they have it built in, they're just automatically blocking that. So it'll be really fun to see what they decide is off limits in an official session of 1D&D. Oh yeah, Miguel saying, I'm telling you, once this current campaign is done, Critical Role is going to jump ship. Yeah, I don't think they mentioned it in that statement that they released, but they've been working on their own system. I think like that's been part of their whole thing. Like because it's the most popular, because 5e was so popular, they developed, they released their setting books for that, but they could just as easily release them for their own system. And that would take a lot away from legitimizing D&D. And it's like, so starting from that point, D&D is no longer going to have that built in. Oh, Critical Role, what are they playing? Oh, they're playing 5e. I want to try that. That's going to be totally gone. But maybe they will have captured their digital pay pigs by then, so they don't care. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, and we have no idea, like behind the scenes, like what kind of deals were made, because if they really understand the effect that Critical Role had on the popularity of 5e, they probably could have made them an amazing deal that they're not allowed to talk about. So if they miraculously stick with Dungeons and Dragons, then there's probably a very huge payday. There's probably a really big reason to do that. Yeah. Who knows? Nice. Oh, Chris's comment made me think. Oh, Miguel's saying this made me think about the morality clause Wizards of the Coast wants to bring to the game. Yeah, that's a weird thing. All these like codes and like restrictions of language and content, especially at a the group decides what's appropriate. The group of players and the DM decide what's appropriate at your table. It shouldn't be the company telling you what kind of content you can or can't do. And I think that's just going to push people to do edgier stuff. If you like have a company that's saying no, we don't do this. This doesn't exist. This doesn't exist. Of course, then people are going to be home brewing that and maybe live streaming that or whatever, just to get that out there. Yes. Right, yeah. That's the thing, yeah, Wizard's saying. So the idea of no Nazis. I mean, I said, yeah, I hate Nazis, so no Nazis in my game sounds reasonable to me. But if WotC is going to say that they don't like Nazis, and so you can't have them in your game because that's our decision. Yeah, it's just not going to end well. Yeah, good point, Miguel. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so we'll see. Oh, nice. Nice. So, oh yeah, and that's right. I'm wondering how long until they dump all the NFTs and blockchains into Final Fantasy 14. Oh yeah, that's I don't trust Japanese companies to stay away from that kind of stuff. Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 could end up, yeah, because there was a they always have weird ways that they're trying to monetize. Square Enix is always doing odd stuff like that. Yeah, if you spend your money on that, how are you going to send all your money to Hasbro? Yeah, you can sell some of your Warhammer stuff, right, to fund your new one D&D addiction. Oh, Miguel says, no, it's not going to blow over. The market has been fragmented. Maybe in the short term, the D&D's bottom line won't be hurt, but their growth will suffer. Yeah, that's a good point. So if you're just looking at this as a PR disaster, yeah, they may recover from it. But yeah, business-wise, I think, so, and especially those core people, the people that were the most into it because they were making money, being into D&D as third-party developers, and it gave them an audience, it gave them like a player base and everything to create content for. Yeah, that's for a lot of those people, that's fractured forever. And with so many other companies now moving to make their own offerings, their own OGLs, their own SRDs available, that is really going to open it up to a lot of other options. Yeah, I'm really curious after the release of 1D&D what Paizo is going to look like, and how they've benefited from the orc, and who gets on board. Because it is going to be a lot of companies just saying, yeah, it's us against WotC. Interesting. Yeah, that's cool. Hey, Jai, how's it going? So here's my chance to thank you for your Blade Runner RPG videos. Oh, thanks. So wonderful. What a treat. Thank you for your hard work, sir. Oh, well, thank you very much, Jai. We've got one or two more to finish up that first case file campaign. There's about 3 hours. I think I mentioned there's about 3 hours of play left, but that cuts, I'm not sure how that's going to cut down. I've been trying to do them in 1 hour pieces so they're more watchable and not as daunting. And then I'll do, of course, like a big super cut of the whole campaign if you want to sit through the whole thing. So without intros and outros. But thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate everyone that's watching those. They're really that's a really fun game. I mean, if you ever wanted to have your version of Blade Runner to play your own play around in that world and use a really great system to do it, I think Free League really nailed it. And I'm really afraid that they're going to nail it with Walking Dead. I don't want to play Walking Dead universe, but I have a feeling with the Year Zero engine and survival mechanics and hex crawling and stuff that they've already been playing around with other games, that they're probably going to do a pretty cool zombie apocalypse game. But yeah, that IP I really hate. It's been very abused. Well, thanks so much, Jai Alai Heyday. I appreciate the saying something about that, because it was really fun. And Matt, hey, there's Matt. Matt made it to the chat. Matt was one of the players on there. The wonderful Perez. for the Blade Runner campaign. So yeah, that's been fun. So that is coming. It's coming. I promise. We'll get that finished, and then we've got a Dragonbane one shot, and we've got some John Carter. We've got lots of stuff. So I'm basically gonna have to lock myself, chain myself to an editing bay, and keep cranking it out. Yeah, very cool. You just missed some OGL nonsense and everyone's reaction to it. We talked about the licenses, 2 licenses for Free League. They're Dragonbane specific, and the Year Zero stuff. Yeah, so it's good. Yeah, and as soon as more content comes out for Blade Runner, I'm definitely gonna have to get Matt and Will to revive their characters, get their characters back in there, because yeah, it'll be interesting. Depending on what they're going to do with these case files, I think it's going to be similar to Alien and things. There'll be an interesting trajectory with this overall story, so that'll be really fun to see what they do, and then see how Perez and Amor handle it. Yeah, very cool. Oh yes, Matt is here bringing the wrench. That's right. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I got to do. That's what I should do. Some Blade Runner emojis for that. And it seems like now that the physical game, is getting into people's hands, I'm seeing more and more content on YouTube and on social media and stuff about it. So I hope the game gets the attention it deserves. I think they did a really good job making that. And like I said before, I was suspicious. I just didn't think. Didn't think they were pulling it off, and that they were just going to take advantage of that IP. But no, it's great, really great. You were neat. I think Abyss was just waiting to say things that would be banned. Nice. Well, great. Yeah, so more of that and more audiobooks. I've got 2 more of the Mutant Chronicles. So I'm gonna try. I don't think I'll make everybody wait until next Christmas to do that. So maybe we'll do another one of those Mutant Chronicles books, like pick a month that my schedule's pretty good, and just do that every night again, and finish another one of those. And I've also got. I should announce this, but a lot of people aren't gonna see this. But I have the whole series of the Vor the Maelstrom novels as well. So we have a whole. We can do a whole deep dive into, as I'm sure those haven't gotten enough attention either. And that setting is so crazy that I think it would be fun to see what they did for their fiction. But yeah, should be good. Wow. Yeah. So Chris and I will get some Oathmark going. I'm gonna try to get my my dwarves assembled and primed. We'll probably do another one of those live streams. We've been doing kind of those long live streams and just talking about the game and stuff, and putting our units together. So we'll get those going, and then start doing some actual battle reports, some actual plays of some Oathmark. Nice. Nice. What's the minimum to get the wrench? Yeah, so we'll see what else what else we can get into. Yeah, it's funny, the kind of gaming groups have never completely recovered from COVID. I'm not, we keep getting kind of pushed around. The first of the year, the first session is this weekend for the OSR group, so we're going to decide where things are going at that session, and maybe do a session 0 of where we're starting. But yeah, it's not good. There's not enough opportunities to game, but it's good. Yes, but we'll be doing Forbidden Lands tomorrow. Matt's running an awesome, a vicious, full of vicious halflings, an awesome Forbidden Lands campaign that's been really good. So we'll continue some of that. But yeah, as far as meeting face to face, it's been much harder. And I guess there's still a ton of restrictions and stuff here that are very lightly being loosened, but we'll see. Nice. Now Matt's just getting tortured. Oh man, yeah. So yeah, it's weird that these weird releases that WotC's doing right at the end of the week. So we'll see if this keeps coming. And I like how it just shows, I guess, how big Hasbro is, where they just don't have a unified kind of, approach to handling any of this. There's just been a bunch of weird random stuff. But now we got Kyle. We have to make that t-shirt. Ask me about the halflings in Forbidden Lands. I don't want to talk about it. They're vicious little bastards. And they deserve what they got. My character is turning away from life. All life is precious towards those scumbags. Crazy. All right. So yeah, we'll we'll see what happens. Yeah, and feel free, through Patreon or even comments on these live streams, to give us feedback and stuff you want to see. We'll definitely get Blade Runner's going to be finishing up, and yeah, I can't wait to see what next they release. It's crazy. Free League has must have a really busy production schedule, because they're already going to be kickstarting a new game. Are they kickstarting Walking Dead? I think they are. But yeah, I just watched a video on Fear the Walking Dead, that spin-off series, and how terrible that was. Like, I didn't watch any of it. I couldn't stomach it after Walking Dead kind of fell apart. I was no interest in a spin-off series, but it's a real mess how AMC has handled that. And I guess the creator, like the executive producers and the creator of the comic, have been trying to continually sue AMC for stolen royalties, or unpaid royalties. Not stolen yet, they're not stolen, but unpaid royalties and stuff. So that's a mess. That IP has taken such a beating. It's crazy. But yeah, we're recording it. We're doing the audio, so it'll be similar. Yeah, the Forbidden Lands is being recorded just like Blade Runner was. So yeah, we're doing recording over Discord for all the audio, and we're doing live recording as well. So Forbidden Lands might sound a little bit better, because we're all going to have local audio as well. So yeah. So all that stuff eventually, if we hire an editor that works faster than I do. All of that stuff will eventually be coming out as actual play series. So we have a pretty constant feed. No, those will go out. They're premium now. I guess just the audio. If I release it on the RSS feed, that will be for patrons. But we'll break it up into episodes, just like with Blade Runner, and it'll go out. It'll first be early access, for Patreon and YouTube members, and then it'll just be on the channel. Yes, but very premium. Yes. Yeah, I really wish I just had time to clear out of the week, so I had AP, actual play editing time every week, because that'd be great because that's originally what I thought I'd be able to do, but there's just no way, scheduling wise, there's just no way. But I wanted to do weekly actual play episodes, but yeah, between editing the audio and then producing the video, it can't happen that fast. But we'll figure it out someday. Hopefully we can get some other editors involved, and that would be a dream, is to get that to get those in a regular schedule. Oh, that's right. Yes, in America, it's my wretched birthday. That's right. Yeah, now I'm completely doxxed. Thanks, Matt. I can't believe I gave you a wrench just to get a doxing. Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird time of the year. I think I've had more relatives die, older relatives die on my birthday than I'm comfortable with. It's a really weird time. When you're older, I think after the holidays are done and you've got that long dark struggle until the spring, that's when a lot of people are just okay, I'm done living. I hung in there for one more Christmas. So Yeah, a lot of elderly relatives die on my birthday. It's a good time. uh, yeah, so that means I came into the world in a really cold, dark, horrible night, I'm sure. Crazy. Oh, thanks, Abyss. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I really and I guess that's part of the problem too. If I didn't care, if I just didn't edit stuff and did real simple graphics, it could produce it much faster. But it's so much more enjoyable to have that like perfect version of our campaign, you know, without all the wait, do that again, wait, you know, there's no rules to look up, there's no anything. It's just the you know, a perfect version, an idealized perfect version of what we played. So that's good. Oh, nice. Two major disasters on Miguel's birthday. Yeah, it's never good. All right. Well, I think we'll call it for this week. Yeah, a little bit of a short. Yeah, there was just like such a random, just a lot of people reacting, you know, Bundle of Holding and Free League, everyone just reacting to all of this news. But it's surprising that, so obviously all of the companies that have had a reaction and are talking about their own licenses and what they're going to do haven't been approached by Wizards of the Coast. So it's probably just been a few of the biggest content creators and then, you know, people like Critical Role and stuff that had the opportunity to get in early and get sweetheart deals, and then everyone else is just going to be, you know, left out in the cold. I still can't believe that they're calling this a draft, you know, calling that first version that was released a draft, and it was leaked and it wasn't supposed to be out, because people have confirmed that it was attached to executed contracts, like contracts that were waiting to be signed. So there's no way that this was a draft. This was what they wanted to do. And now they're talking about what, play testing, whatever that means, that OGL, like they're going to put it out there and then just like with their 1D&D rules, ask for feedback. That's crazy, because they've gotten their feedback, and everybody wants, you know, a version. I guess if you have to add whatever you want to add as far as like types of media that are now included, but nobody wants anything. And everything that they walked back in this latest statement, everything that they walked back was specifically what people talked about in every, you know, tweet and YouTube video and everything. It was just everything. It's very crazy. Oh, Thunder Road. Oh, nice. Oh, that would be great. Yeah, we should definitely do an unboxing for that. I'd love to see how that came out. Yeah, that's another thing I'm backed up on is unboxings. I was doing them as live streams for a while, but I think they turn out better when I can kind of make sure, you know, everything is correct and I'm not just like looking at something and silent. So live streams, yeah, are going to be... Oh, cool. Oh, there we go. The Free League was talking about their 2 licenses. So they're going to go all in with their Year Zero system. So they're revising the SRD, revising their license, and making it, you know, everything that the WotC one wasn't, and then specifically doing a third-party license for Dragonbane, which is great. We got to talk about that too, Matt. That'd be fun to do some Dragonbane stuff. Nice. Yeah, you're right. Miguel said the prior draft did not include the word draft for some mysterious reason. Yeah, it's weird. They just put it out there and they didn't let anybody know. That's crazy. It's funny. Yeah, I wonder if, yeah, they want money for all of that. Yeah, I really think, yeah, I was just, because I was trying to think of what corporation are they talking about? What corporation are they talking about that is stealing money from them? And I bet it's Amazon Prime having that Critical Role, that Vox whatever animated series. I mean, that was a huge victory for them that I don't think Wizards makes any money on. So yeah, it's crazy. Oh, a Forbidden Lands choose your own adventure book next. Oh, like a solo. Oh, that's a really cool idea. Wow, that's a really cool idea. Yeah, nice. Well, if it needs pictures, which those books usually do, I think they've got pictures. Oh, and I'm working on pictures. Yeah, Matt, we can talk. We'll talk tomorrow. But yeah, I got to catch up with you too. Oh man. Yeah, that's cool. That's a good idea. Abyssing at Twitch Prime is one half of a money laundering scheme. Yeah, I keep forgetting that Amazon owns Twitch. That's the most bizarre way to try to buy into the game industry I think anyone's ever had. Oh, nice. And solo rules in the new Forbidden Lands. Nice. Oh, very cool. Yeah, good. Some good fantasy art. All right. So yeah. So let's call it there. Sorry, I keep I keep trying to figure out a good place to stop it. Yeah. So so we'll be doing some more Forbidden Lands tomorrow and recording it. So eventually, well, I don't know. I don't think going out live is going to be that interesting, and it'll also make us too self-conscious. So it's better to have it recorded so we can edit it into the perfect session. But yeah, so that's it for this week, and everybody take care, and we'll do this again next week. Yeah, I think there's going to be anything in the way, and yes, I'll have so Forbidden Lands, and then on Sunday the OSR group. So maybe I'll have some more to talk about based on what we decide we're doing with that group. So very good. All right. So everybody take care, and thanks for making it in there late, Matt. And I'm gonna just smack Chris's microphone. So yeah, take care everyone, and we'll see you again next time. Goodbye.